Hello everyone. If you're watching the replay of this video, please bear with me whilst everyone jumps on. I tried to do this video last night, but Instagram was doing some updates. So here I am. So I was just waiting for Sam to come out from running an errand. And I decided Spirit was like, do it now. Okay. So something really, really big is happening astrologically, and I don't think a lot of people realize that this is happening. And a lot of people are kind of unaware that it's happening. And it's extremely important to pay attention to this astrological movement that's going to happen at the end of this month, because we're already feeling the energy of its effects on us spiritually, and we are already feeling the energy, but a lot of people are ignoring it or don't know where the energy is coming from. Okay, on May 26th, we're going to have a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, followed by a retrograde followed by a Jupiter retrograde in Aquarius. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you guys what that means a little bit. And by no means, I'm not a perfect astrologer, but I've studied astrology for a while, and I have studied how it affects things spiritually, how it affects things magically, how it affects things spiritually, which then affects the material world. This lunar eclipse is going to bring out the worst in people and the best in people, depending on your vibration. The moon rules our emotions. It rules how we feel. It rules how we feel about things. Sagittarius is the sign of action and philosophy. What does that mean? Sagittarius rules philosophy, meaning what we believe about the world and our morals, and also how we act on those beliefs, as well as how that knowledge affects us. Okay? Sagittarius is also a sign that tends to look back and reanalyze its past behavior over and over and over again. So why do I say it's going to bring out the worst and it's going to bring out the best in people? The reason I say that is because whenever there has been a lunar eclipse like this, Spirit has said to me, is the time when people tend to get the most negative spiritual attachments and demonic attachments. And the reason for this is because a lot of the times when these eclipses happen, the worst aspects of humanity come out because they need to be recognized in order to be healed. And what happens is when we are walking around unaware, these negative aspects that come out of people can easily attach themselves to other people who are sensitive to energy, okay? And other people who are not protecting themselves. So during the lunar eclipse, it's not recommended to go out at night, okay? And I'm not saying this to scare you, but I'm saying this as someone who works with spirit removals and demonic removal detachments. This lunar eclipse is not meant for you to absorb its energy. It's meant for you to observe what things inside of you you need to address, because it's going to amplify either the best aspects of you or it's going to amplify the worst aspects of you. And then as we go into this Jupiter retrograde in Aquarius is the humanitarian sign. It's the sign of changing humanity for the better. It's a sign of spiritual knowledge. It's a sign of forcing society to change for the good of the collective. So Jupiter is the planet of amplification. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, funny enough. So we're having a Jupiter retrograde in Aquarius, which is the reason why I told you guys that it can affect our money system. Because why? May 26th, people could start freaking out and start crashing the stock market, or making irrational decisions that burn down their life on May 26th during the lunar eclipse. And then the Jupiter retrograde is going to force our money system to change, because our money system has been wanting to change towards something that is more beneficial to the collective. However, Aquarius is going to do it no matter what it takes. Aquarius is going to change the status quo of the collective no matter what it takes. So if it takes burning down the house to rebuild it, Aquarius will do that. And with the amplification energy of Jupiter, Aquarius and Jupiter will amplify the positive and the negative. As we come out of the Jupiter retrograde we come out of the Jupiter retrograde around October. So the Jupiter retrograde is going to last from around June 21st all the way to the middle of October. It's going to go through the different cycles, okay? It's going to go through the different cycles as we move into the different zodiac signs. This Jupiter energy is going to amplify the energy of what is going on during those cycles. What do I mean by that? When the sun moves into Leo, Jupiter's retrograde, because Jupiter has slowed down, it's going to push that Leo energy. As the sun moves into Virgo, it's going to push, as the sun moves into Cancer, it's going to push that Cancer energy. Okay, so the hidden secrets may come out. A lot of hidden secrets, especially more than ever before, may come out, especially around June, because Jupiter is in retrograde, the planet of amplification. It starts in retrograde in Aquarius. Okay, so Jupiter is going to be in Aquarius in retrograde. And then we have the sun in Cancer, which they all affect each other. So you may have a whole bunch of secrets coming out in Cancer season. Okay? It's time to clean house. That is for sure. Astrology is cleaning house. And whether you are aware of it or not, astrology affects you. I like to say the outer planets affect our external environment, and the inner planets affect our internal environment. So, as these retrogrades are happening, the eclipse happens, right? So we have the eclipse that happens on the 26th. The eclipse in Sagittarius, the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. That's going to affect you internally. It's going to take out, if that scares you, that's good, because that means that there are things that you need to heal, that it's scaring you to hear that it's going to be amplified during the lunar eclipse. Because there are things that you need to heal. Okay? Then when that Jupiter retrograde comes in, our external environment is going to be affected. And then how you react to your external environment will determine how the Jupiter retrograde affects you internally. Because Jupiter can't affect you unless you react to what it does to your environment. That was weird. So, like I said before, I think it cut off a little. So, in the Cancer, the sun is going to be moving into Cancer in June. We have a Jupiter retrograde in Aquarius. Jupiter amplifies the external world, right? And Cancer is the sign of secrets being revealed. Hidden things coming to light. Then we have about our external environment and our internal environment. Then we have the sun moving into Leo. Leo is all about that confidence. It's all about the lack of confidence so a lot of you whom are super confident may be getting humbled. Some of you who lack confidence may get a boost in confidence during this time with with the sun in Leo and Jupiter in retrograde. But how you react to your external environment is going to be extremely important, because it has a spiritual, even though astrology is not spiritual, it does have a spiritual effect on yourself internally and on your environment. Because remember, everything starts in the spiritual realm, and then it goes to the mental realm, and then it goes into the physical realm. And it's a cycle. So the movements of these external bodies affect our earth, which affects our spirits, our energy. And then it affects our minds, and then it affects our actions. So it's extremely important for us during this time. I would say from May 25th to October 18th, where you have this major Jupiter retrograde, to put our heads down, focus on the purpose that Spirit gave us individually, or that God gave us individually, and also focus on acknowledging what needs to be healed and giving it light through prayer, through meditation, through sending those dark aspects of ourselves the love that they need to heal them and release them, so that we don't release these dark aspects of ourselves onto the world. So that's the message that Spirit wanted me to deliver regarding the spiritual influence of these planetary movements that are happening. It's up to you whether you decide to take that advice or not. The whole point of me saying all that I said is to remind you. Now, here's the good thing before I go. When the sun goes into Virgo and the sun goes into Libra, that is when the repair will come. That is the calm after the storm. That is the penthouse after it was burned down. That time is where you will reap your rewards. Okay? So around that time is when all of the good things will come. But sometimes, like the Tower card in the tarot, everything has to be destroyed before the good is built. So be sure to double think the negative actions you are going to take, and take the leap of faith on the positive things that you are being inspired to do. Because if you are being inspired right now to do something positive, that's because that is the energy of the lunar eclipse and the Jupiter retrograde that's coming, that is pushing you. And Spirit is telling you, take advantage of it, because you will reap the rewards tremendously, exponentially, if you do take action on those positive thoughts and the positive actions that you are being inspired to take, if you take that leap of faith. But double think the negative thoughts, heal the negative emotions, and be careful with the negative actions. All right, everyone? I hope that makes sense. I know that astrology is a little difficult to explain, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there together. Just know that a lot of things are going to be coming out because the astrological movement support it. But it's all about how you act and how you react to it. Okay? So the time frame for this entire change, if humanity supports it, and I'm sure the collective will support it, will be between May 25th and October 18th. I would suggest not spending too much time outside during the lunar eclipse this month, however. I would suggest taking that time to reflect internally and to take the time to pray and meditate and make the plans and the decisions that will benefit you when Jupiter goes into retrograde in June. Because when Jupiter goes into retrograde in June, you may see a lot of changes happening to our money system, to how we deal with each other, how, like I said, Jupiter is going retrograde in a sign that is the humanitarian, okay? It's going retrograde, it's starting its retrograde in a sign that is the humanitarian. It's the sign that is willing to change everything for the better of the collective. So if spirit is pushing you to do something good, that's something that is positive for your life, and you're scared, ask for courage and do it. Okay? Because you will reap the benefits. But don't do the things don't be so quick to do the things out of anger or resentment. Instead, focus on healing that anger, resentment, jealousy, obsession, whatever it is. Okay? That's all that I have for you today. Have a blessed night.